happy and glorious. The Queen takes the salute at Trooping the Colour at the start of her Platinum Jubilee celebrations. The Queen is joined on the balcony at Buckingham Palace by her family, but not Prince Harry and Meghan. Thousands line the Mall to watch the ceremony, which is being broadcast around the world.
If I had one thing to say to the Queen, I would say, you've done an amazing job of 70 years on the throne. God save the Queen!
Also on the programme this lunchtime. Johnny Depp seen in a Newcastle pub last night, while in the US his legal team celebrated his defamation win. But domestic abuse campaigners worry about the message it sends.
And here at the home of cricket, it's the start of the Test match summer. New captain, new coach, New England? Well, so far, very good.
Good afternoon. The Queen has taken the salute from the balcony at Buckingham Palace as Trooping the Colour began 4 days of celebration for her Platinum Jubilee. There are tens of thousands of people here outside the palace, lining the streets, and some that we've spoken to have come from as far away as Australia and the US. In a message to mark the event, the Queen, who is the world's oldest reigning monarch, said that she hoped the celebrations would create many happy memories for people. At 96, her mobility is limited, and she restricted her appearance to the palace balcony instead of inspecting the troops in person, as is traditional. Here's our royal correspondent, Nicholas Witchell.
For all that she wants the Jubilee to be about communities coming together and creating their own precious memories, in the end, it is all about her. After all, there wouldn't be a Platinum Jubilee if there weren't a monarch who served for 70 years. And so when Queen Elizabeth came out onto the palace balcony to review her troops, the crowds showed their appreciation. This was the first sight of the Queen. At 96 years of age now, there are limitations on what is possible. So, for the first time, she hadn't reviewed the parade on horse guards. Instead, the foot guards and the household cavalry formed up outside the palace amid all the staging set up for Saturday's Jubilee party, and the salute was taken by the Queen, accompanied by the Duke of Kent. In her Jubilee message, the Queen had said she looked forward to the future with confidence. That, we can assume, was an implied reference to the future of the monarchy. And so once again today, we had a glimpse of the future. It was the Prince of Wales who led the royal party from Buckingham Palace. Also riding on horseback behind Charles were Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, and Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. And riding together in one of the carriages, the Cambridges' 3 children, Prince George, Prince Louis in the middle, and Princess Charlotte. As the procession made its way down the Mall, a group of animal rights protesters broke through the tight police cordon and attempted to disrupt one of the marching bands before being dragged away by police. On Horse Guards Parade, the Foot Guards had formed up. Plenty to look at for those newcomers to the parade. Plenty to get used to for these newcomers. They will see it many times in years to come. Absent from the parade, the Duke of York, stripped of his role as honorary colonel of the Grenadier Guards. The Prince of Wales led the inspection of the troops on behalf of his mother. It's the first time the heir to the throne has presided over the parade since 1951, when the then Princess Elizabeth represented her ailing father, George VI. Keen young eyes were watching from the windows overlooking the parade ground. The Sussexes, Harry and Meghan, were also understood to be watching the parade, though they weren't visible at the windows. For an hour, the Guards' regiments demonstrated their marching skills. The colour of the Irish Guards was trooped. The spectacle was completed by the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment. At Buckingham Palace, the Royal Standard was being raised to signify that the Queen had arrived from Windsor, ready for her appearances on the palace balcony. In London, the stage has been set. The Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Queen Elizabeth II are underway. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News, at Buckingham Palace.
Well, I'm joined now by our royal correspondent, Daniela Ralph. Daniela, so much going on today, but the main focus for everyone here has been the appearance of the Queen.
That's right, 2 appearances by the Queen on the balcony here at Buckingham Palace within the past hour. And most recently, we saw her out on the balcony with the wider royal family for that extraordinary Platinum Jubilee flypast that flew over us here and over Buckingham Palace. It was interesting just to observe the Queen in that context. She looked absolutely thrilled with what she was looking at. Clearly, she's seen a number of flypasts over the past 70 years, but she was surrounded by her great-grandchildren, particularly the Cambridge children who we've seen today, Prince George, Prince Louis, Princess Charlotte, and she seemed to be telling them what to look out for as the planes went overhead. It will be one of the defining images, the Queen on the balcony with her family of this Jubilee weekend, and the Typhoons, the aircraft above in formation saying 70 in the skies above her as well, a nice touch before the red arrows went over. So a key defining image for this Jubilee weekend.
And the crowds here clearly thrilled by it too. Daniela, many thanks. Daniela Ralph there. Well, as you saw, tens of thousands of people from around the UK and across the world have lined the Mall to watch this morning's ceremonies. Ashley John-Baptiste has been talking to the crowds.
A sea of people, flags and Jubilee joy lines the Mall leading to Buckingham Palace. Hours before the Troop in the Colour parade had even commenced, there were already crowds, many having camped overnight, eager to witness the start of this long-awaited Platinum Jubilee weekend.
It makes you be proud to be British. I am so happy to be British and being here, celebrating with my family. It's amazing and yeah, it's going to be a great day.
I've been a royal fan since I was 5 years old, and a few years ago I had a spinal cord injury, and I've always looked to the Queen for her spirit and, you know, to get back up and carry on.
Here at the Mall, a stone's throw away from Buckingham Palace, people have come from far and wide to celebrate the Queen and this Platinum Jubilee celebration. The energy is high, the weather is good, and it shows no signs of abating.
This woman travelled all the way from Chicago in the US.
It is not a once in a lifetime, not even a once in a decade. It has never happened before. It will never happen again.
And this young boy from North London.
If I had one thing to say to the Queen, I would say, you've done an amazing job of 70 years on the throne. God save the Queen!
Queen is the backbone of Great Britain.
I'm trying not to cry, I guess, but you know, very curious 100%. But it's like dream come true, honestly. So yeah.
The military parade, which marks the Queen's official birthday, was a spectacle for cheering crowds. While there are those across the UK who question the significance of the royal family in modern Britain, for many people here today, this is about seeing this significant moment in history.
It's a privilege to be here just to honour Her Majesty for her service of 70 years. It's just a privilege. I feel honoured to be here as well in this country.
She represents honour, she represents hope and dedication to the country.
It's amazing. I'm just so excited. I love the Queen and I'm so proud of her and what she's done serving our country.
Despite the excitement so far, the celebrations have only just begun. Ashley John-Baptiste, BBC News.
The Queen has recognised more than 1,000 people in her birthday honours list. Numerous previously unsung men and women working for charities and their communities have been recognised, along with household names from the worlds of entertainment and sport, as Lizo Mazimba reports.
Rebus made 3 circuits driving slowly.
In the world of entertainment, Ian Rankin, author of the multi-million-selling Rebus novels, says he's honoured to be knighted for services to literature and charity. Damian Lewis has been made a CBE for services to drama and charity. Together with his late wife Helen McCrory, who died of cancer just over a year ago, he helped raise over £1 million to provide food for NHS workers during COVID. In a statement, he said, "She and I are both thrilled." Fashion designer Stella McCartney is too made a CBE. Moody Blues singer Justin Hayward becomes an OBE. Bonnie Tyler is made an MBE. Also becoming MBEs, MasterChef's Greg Wallace.
They've got here, now they've got to cook like they want to stay here.
And co-presenter John Sarode.
There's no second chances from here on in. They have to perform.
In the world of politics, Arlene Foster rose to the top, becoming Northern Ireland's first female First Minister. She's been made a dame for political and public service.
Obviously, I was thrilled. I've been a representative here for 18 years and then as the first female First Minister in Northern Ireland as well. So it's really Northern Ireland's award as well.
MPs Nia Griffith and Maria Miller also become dames, while fellow MPs Stephen Timms and Jeremy Wright are knighted. In the world of sport, broadcaster Claire Balding becomes a CBE.
I'm amazed and just completely overwhelmed by it, to be honest. But I do think it's a reflection of how much people love sport. And I hope it's also a reflection of the growth of women's sport and the added reward and recognition there is for women's sport and women in sports broadcasting.
Cricket star Moeen Ali says he's proud and happy to be made an OBE. Rio Ferdinand becomes an OBE too for services to football and for his charity and campaigning work.
Blissett, good goal.
Luther Blissett also becomes an OBE for his work in football and charity.
It's curling goal.
The Olympic gold medal winning curling team are also recognised. Captain Eve Muirhead is made an OBE, the rest of the team MBEs.
In towards Bale, who's unmarked, and Bale scores.
Also becoming an MBE, footballer Gareth Bale. Most honours though go to people not in the public eye, people like Patricia Husselby, recognised for 65 years of volunteering for the Poppy Appeal.
It makes you feel special. It makes you feel, all our hard work has been, it brought you a reward. As I say, I'm just delighted about it, delighted, absolutely delighted.
She's just one of many honoured for their work in the community. Lisa Mazimba, BBC News.
Let's take a look at some of the day's other news now. Johnny Depp has said that he feels at peace after winning his libel case against his ex-wife Amber Heard, following her claims in an article that she was a victim of domestic abuse. He's been awarded more than $10 million in damages, whilst Ms. Heard was awarded $2 million for winning part of her libel case against him. Domestic abuse campaigners say that they're concerned the verdicts could send the wrong message to victims, as David Silito reports.
Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
After 6 weeks in court and 6 years of angry accusations after their divorce, the court and millions across the world watched the jury's judgment on Amber Heard's declaration that she had suffered domestic violence at the hands of Johnny Depp. Was this defamation? The jury said
yes.
Outside, the fans cheered. Johnny Depp's lawyers emerged to a hero's welcome.
Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence.
Amber Heard's case had video, photographs, and hours of emotional testimony.
Slapped me across the face. And he slapped me again. He just kicked me.
However, public opinion was throughout the trial firmly behind Johnny Depp's claim that he was the real victim here.
Miss Heard, in her frustration and in her rage and her anger, she would strike out. And I said, go ahead, hit me. Bam.
So, two completely different accounts of a marriage, and one in which Johnny Depp says he was the victim. And that's what the jury has agreed with today. And not only that, they've accepted that Amber Heard acted with malice, with a reckless disregard for the truth. And remember, Amber Heard's account of her marriage was, in a UK libel trial 2 years ago, judged to be substantially true. And yet from the beginning, she was facing a torrent of abuse. Campaigners for those who've endured domestic violence are worried.
What we're concerned about in this instance is the chilling effect that the media coverage will have on survivors who need to come forward. And so ultimately, that can be a very damaging thing. Victims are watching this, and they are thinking about, how will I be treated if I come forward? In accordance with law.
Amber Heard says she's heartbroken. She did win part of her libel case over an allegation of carrying out a hoax, but for Johnny Depp's team, celebrations. In a statement, he said he had his life back. The long legal battle is finally over. David Silito, BBC News, Fairfax, Virginia.
The American comedian Bill Cosby is facing new allegations of sexual assault in a civil trial, less than a year after he was freed when his conviction in a separate criminal case was overturned. It's alleged the 85-year-old, once known as America's Dad, assaulted a teenage girl at the Playboy Mansion in Los Angeles in 1975. He's denied any assault took place. In 2018, Cosby was convicted of drugging and molesting a woman at his home in 2004, and he served nearly 3 years in prison before being released. In the US, 4 people have been killed in a shooting at a hospital in the city of Tulsa in Oklahoma. Police say the gunman, who's not been identified, was armed with a rifle and a pistol. He killed himself soon after officers arrived. The motive for the attack isn't clear. And the teenage gunman accused of shooting 10 people dead in a supermarket in Buffalo, New York last month has been charged with domestic terrorism. Prosecutors allege that 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, who earlier pleaded not guilty, was motivated by racial hatred. Gendron, who describes himself as a white supremacist, is accused of shooting 13 people in total during the massacre, almost all of them black. Here, the government is to ban the use of the type of metal cladding used to refurbish Grenfell Tower from being used on all new buildings in the future. Known as ACM, or aluminium composite material, its flammability allowed the fire to spread rapidly. Grenfell's bereaved families and survivors are marking the Jubilee with a street party table with a place name for each of the 72 lives lost. The 5th anniversary of the tragedy is in a fortnight. Now it's day 1 of the first test between England and New Zealand at Lord's, and England's cricketers have taken a string of quick wickets. Our sports correspondent Joe Wilson reports.
At Lord's, Old Father Time has overseen countless fresh starts. A brave new dawn can soon lose its gleam. Ben Stokes, the new captain, needed help in this new era. James Anderson, 40 next month, to defy age, to dismiss Young. Yeah, Will Young out, Anderson succeeding again, but look at the left hand of Johnny Bairstow to clutch that catch. Stand by for the next one. Easy this time, Johnny. Oh, it's just teasing us.
Oh, it's taken, I think he has.
New Zealand were 2 wickets down, just 2 runs scored. Everything going, everything sticking for England. Got it. To continue the theme. A hat-trick of catches for Bairstow, a wicket for the recalled Stuart Broad. OK, what about new bowlers? Matthew Potts, 23, on his debut, dismissing New Zealand's captain. And that's what a perfect start feels like. Well, nothing is ever perfect. Jack Leach making a brave dive in the field. He was able to walk away but suffered symptoms of concussion. He'll play no further part. But Potts does. With that, New Zealand 6 down.
Yeah, 3 wickets for Potts already. At lunch, New Zealand World Test champions, remember, 39 for 6. Now, one morning does not make a summer nor a recovery. But right now, Rita, the lunchtime picnickers around me at Lord's are revelling in it.
Thank Thank you very much indeed, Joe. Joe Wilson there. Well, they're reveling in it here as well. It has been a fantastic atmosphere here. The crowd behind me outside Buckingham Palace was enormous, and there were crowds 10 deep lining the Mall. And I've met people from all parts of the globe who've come specially for this occasion. It has to be remembered that this is not everyone's cup of tea, and for some it's simply an occasion to enjoy the bank holiday and the good weather. But for those who are here, they're soaking up the sunshine, the pageantry and the spirit of celebration, as well as witnessing a big moment in the country's history. Well, that is all from BBC News this lunchtime, so it's goodbye from me, and on BBC One we now join the BBC's news teams where you are. Bye-bye.